Hello, this is Alicia Sisk-Morris. I'm a CPA located in Weaverville, North Carolina. This presentation will focus on the ideal client for a CPA located in the greater Buncombe County area. Geographically, my clients will be focused on folks living within a 50-mile radius of my office, which is located in northern Buncombe County in a town called Weaverville, North Carolina. Buncombe County consists of a population of over 250,000 people, which is an increase of a little over 5% since 2010. Since I am located in the northern end of the county, Madison County is also very close. It adds an additional 21,000 people to my client base, which is an actual 2% increase over 2010 numbers. From a demographic standpoint, let's first look at the age of an ideal client. They're likely going to be at least 28 years of age. Clients under 21 years old, they tend to be children of existing clients that I will work with more as a courtesy to their parents and not because their tax return is particularly complex. Generation Y, which is young people under the age of 27 years of age, will likely not be a target market for me at the moment, since 20% of these individuals still live at home with their parents and they struggle to find career-oriented employment, and they tend to leave the decisions as to who does their taxes up to their parents. Or if they have a very simple return, they'll just do it themselves, or they'll utilize an EZ form and less likely to use professional services. Generation X would be one of my client markets that would focus on, because they're in their peak earning years and they have a high value for education and knowledge. In addition to that, I would pull in the baby boomers. They're of course our largest generation. They're not as tech savvy as Generation X, and they have high amounts of discretionary income as their children are raised, and they're looking at spoiling grandchildren at this point. Of course, the greatest generation would also be included. They are financially able to afford fees, as they are a generation that still had pensions. They're living longer than prior generations, so they'll be around for quite some time. And they have the personality type of being extremely loyal customers. So once you have them, you'll have them for the duration. In addition, other demographics I would consider, there's no preference for religion, race, or gender. However, I would put a slight emphasis on the female market, as that is one area that I believe is currently underserved in the local area, and I would like to focus on that submarket as I'm uniquely qualified as a female CPA, adding a level of financial stability and knowledge, but also bringing with it an understanding of a female perspective. From a sexual orientation standpoint, there is no preference. There is a large LBGT community in the local area. They tend to be a very loyal client base with strong referral capabilities within their community. So they would be a potential subcategory that I would focus on, in particular since their tax issues tend to be fairly complicated if they have children or if they're in a committed relationship. The educational level that I'll be focusing on, either some college or at least associate's degree up through undergraduate, master's, and doctorate level, as they tend to be individuals that would have a preference towards other professionals with a high degree of educational background in education. I would also, from a housing perspective, have a preference towards homeowners, as they tend to have more complex tax returns. I would look for household income north of $60,000 so that they can afford professional services. Their employment would either be full-time or they would be retired with a stream of income, such as pension plans or Social Security, that sort of thing. From a professional standpoint, or occupation, I'll be looking at professionals or small business owners, and they would consist of small startup businesses all the way to established businesses, ideally with less than 50 employees. Once you get north of 50 employees, additional tax laws and additional HR laws start kicking in, and I would, at this size and stage of my company, I'd like to focus on a bit smaller company. From a lifestyle or behavior perspective, we're looking at individuals ideally who are members of a civic group or members of a religious organization, so that they are connected to the community and would likely be to refer other people to my services. Again, looking at a homeowner, someone with investment income, ideally managed by a certified financial advisor, as they already would have established that they have a willingness to pay for financial advice. Of course, possessing a will drafted by a lawyer, also an indication of liquidity, as well as a preference towards professional services. Would love for someone to hold a leadership position within a company or community, and they would be seen as influential and trusted by the community, so that they would be a potential referral source for me. Self-employed entrepreneurs tend to have very complex tax issues, so certainly would love to have them on board as clients. Individuals with children and grandchildren are thinking about trusts and estate planning, all services that I could step forward to assist with. They would potentially own rental real estate, adding another level of complexity to their financial portfolio. Of course, value savings for retirements, dealing with stocks, bonds, trades, those things would be all issues that I'm very comfortable with. Recently moved to the area would be another credential that I would look for, or background I would look for, as they would likely be looking for a new CPA or lawyer or CFA. And of course, ultimately they would need them to value education and credentials. Some psychographics that I would love to see in terms of having a stable individual to work with would be they would be loyal, someone who dislikes change, be fiscally responsible. They need to be honest with integrity, law-abiding, skilled record keepers, user of other professional services, happy or contented personality types. They would be trusting, stable personal life, stable mental health. They pay their bills on time. They heed the advice given. They're easy to work with, and they're in the middle and upper class bracket. These individuals, if they had all these personality traits, they would be individuals that would appreciate the work that I do, would be able to afford the work that I do, and I would be able to trust that the information they're giving me is honest, and they would have integrity, so there's no concerns about them skirting the law or trying to skirt the law. All important things when you're looking at clients in the accounting world. The Journal of Accountancy, which is a magazine published by the governing board of the AICPA, they advise that when you're looking at clients, you look for clients that have integrity, that perform engagements with other professional competence, and they have a low risk of engagement. The Small Business Association Office of Advocacy, this is the profile information on North Carolina. And in terms of the number of people that might fall in the small business category, looking at these two green areas, those would be my ideal clients, because the light green shows companies that have 1 to 19 employees, and the darker green shade would be individuals that have less than 100 employees. So if you look at the companies that are in North Carolina, it looks like about 30%, 32% of those companies would fall within my ideal potential company base client. And then when you look at it broken out by individuals, almost 40% of women and a little over 60% of men are actually self-employed and small business owners. Another subset would be the minority market, which a little over 20% of those in North Carolina are self-employed, and then a smaller percentage would fall to veterans. The small business profile for North Carolina also indicated that there's over 833 small businesses, of which 163,000 of those have employees, but a full 669 are small enough businesses that don't have employees. So the family actually, or the individual actually runs the company. Lots of potentials there for clients. The North Carolina small businesses employ half of the state's private workforce, which represents 1.6 million people. Almost all of those firms with employees are small, so that makes up almost 98% of employers in North Carolina are considered small businesses. Small businesses created almost 45,000 new jobs in 2012, and the median income of individuals who are self-employed and do that through an incorporated business make on average a little over $42,000 a year, pretty close to my ideal client level. From the U.S. Census data, we can look at Buncombe and Madison County. There's over 33,000, almost 34,000 people that make north of $50,000 a year in Buncombe County. and a good additional 2,800 people in Madison County can be added to that. For folks with an educational level with at least some college, Buncombe County adds in 86,000 folks, and we can add nearly 7,000 more for Madison County. And those that are homeowners represent 65,000 people in Buncombe and a little over 6,000 in Madison County. So again, we're looking at pretty large numbers of ideal clients potential within the marketplace I'm looking at. As the SRDS, the local demographics for 2014, indicates the population as a whole of Buncombe County is 251,000 people, of which a little over 191,000 are above 21 years of age. The median age is 41,000, which is within the range of the peak earning years for individuals, so we're still a fairly young workforce. There's over 106,000 households, so that's the potential of over 106,000 tax returns needing to be done for a family. The education level above associate's degree would be 75,000 people, and household income over 50,000 people would consist of over almost 44,000 individuals. We've got 77,000 people that are white-collar workers, an additional 23,500 people who are in the farm and service industry, which would be another potential target market, and blue-collar workers represent just a little over 20,000 individuals. Facebook can narrow this down even tighter for me. There's over 45,000 ideal clients, according to the Facebook profiles, that would include men and women over the age of 28, located within 50 miles of Weaverville, who are homeowners and have at least an associate's degree in education or higher, and have at least $50,000 in household income. So again, 45,000 people meeting all those requirements. It's a pretty substantial potential client base. So how will I reach these individuals? Well, first will be a lot of face-to-face marketing. I'll be joining civic groups such as the Madison-Buncombe County Chamber of Commerce, join networking groups like the Women's Business Center, FemFessionals, WNC Women's Entrepreneurs, Women on Fire in Western North Carolina, and the Rainmaker Roundtable. I will attend workshops that are focused on small businesses. Got one coming up with the Western Women's Business Conference hosted by AB Tech Community College. And other ones that would include the Women in Business Symposium, sponsored by Blue Ridge Community College, SCORE, and WNC Lead Innovation. I'll also do a lot of focusing on public speaking, to include speaking at the upcoming Women's Business Center, the 2015 Mompreneur Gathering, FemFessionals, WNC Women's Entrepreneurial Group, the Big Ivy Community Center, and WNC Lead Innovation. And finally, other marketing efforts will include a social media plan that will be composed of blogging, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and LinkedIn. I'll have a direct mail campaign, which will include birthday cards and Christmas cards for clients. A weekly tax tips that will be available through social media distribution and eventually email. I'll be providing year-end tax planning guides that will be customized to existing customers and also have generic versions for each new clients. I'll teach adult continuing education classes via the AB Tech Community College. I will network with small business centers at Western North Carolina and at AB Tech. And I will have some print advertising, things like flyers, business cards, rack cards, ads in the local paper, and local restaurant menus. That gives you an idea of what my ideal client will look like and how I will reach them. Thanks for your time, and hope you found this presentation interesting.